Hello and welcome. I'm Excellite and this is my channel. And today we're going to be talking about a woman who vanished without a trace. Her name is Brandi Ellen Wells. She went missing in Texas in 2006. At the time, she was 23 years old. Today, she would be 42. Her mother was interviewed in 2006. She was quoted as saying, "If somebody does have her, are they taking care of her? I'm not going to give up until I find my child." Ellen Tant still echoes that same sentiment to this day. She was last interviewed and she was quoted as saying, "There's a very good chance she's still alive out there, and I don't want to give up on her until I know for sure." Can you imagine being a mother who doesn't know where their child is and they've disappeared? On the night of August 2nd, 2006, Brandi was seen leaving the Graham Central Station in Longview, Texas. Just a few hours later, her car was found alongside Interstate 20. Her mom was quoted as saying, "But they didn't put it together. It was Brandi's until the following week, so it sat there for 4 or 5 days." What happened between those hours has left her family, her community, the police department searching for answers, and there haven't been any. Brandi was studying to become a teacher. She studied at Trinity Valley Community College. She lived in Brownsboro, Texas, and she often visited her mother in Tyler. Her mom is quoted as saying, "She came in, she changed clothes, and said that she was going to the club with some friends." Her mom went on to say, "But I assumed that she meant the Electric Cowboy, which was right down the road from our house." Her mom says that she thought Brandi was going out for a night of fun with her friends, that she was going to enjoy one last night before the fall semester started, and she was going to have to dig in to her schoolwork and her studies. Her mom said that Brandi could have been a wonderful teacher and she could have helped sculpt young minds in the best ways. But that wasn't to be for Brandi, and that was the last time that she'd ever see her daughter. It wasn't until the next evening that she actually knew that there was something wrong. She started calling Brandi's phone, and Brandi didn't answer it. It went straight to voicemail every single time. And her mom said that that was really unusual. It wasn't like her at all, especially when her mom was calling, to not answer. So she called the police department. And while she was on the phone with the police department, her other daughter, her youngest daughter, came in and was listening to the conversation. And when the police officer asked Ellen where Brandi had gone, he had said that she went to the Electric Cowboy, which is the club right down the street from them. Her youngest child said, "No, Mommy, she went to the Graham Central Station in Longview." That meant that Brandi had gone 45 minutes out of her way to go to a different club. Officers who were with the Longview Police Department at the time began the investigation, and they started with the surveillance tapes from the nightclub. The surveillance footage shows that Brandi walked into the Graham Central Station near South Longview at about 10:36 p.m. 2 minutes later, she could be seen checking in at the counter. Her mother claimed in the club, people told police that Brandi was asking for a couple of bucks that she could borrow for gas, and that she got lost a couple of times and ran out of gas. And here's the thing: Brandi didn't know how to get to this club, and she didn't meet anybody and walk in with them. And when she did leave, she didn't walk out with anybody. She called this club 3 times to get directions. So I think one of the very, very important questions about this case is, why did she go 45 minutes away to a club she wasn't familiar with? Why did she go that far away when she was going to be low on gas? And she spent the next 2 hours asking people if they could give her some money. There was a lot of rumors that said that perhaps she was trying to get money for something unsavory. But of course, those are rumors, and they always start when somebody goes missing. But it is a very strange situation, especially if she didn't know anybody there. And on top of that, like I said, Brandi had stayed there for 2 hours. So just before 12:30 a.m., she can be seen from the club's cameras walking by the counter and out the front door. There's a man in a white cowboy hat that follows her out. He stops. Brandi takes a right. He stops. He looks towards Brandi, and you can see in the shadow that Brandi, who had been wearing all black, turned and started walking toward the man, but it's out of the camera range. You can only see her feet. It's unknown if the man in the cowboy hat had ever been interviewed by the police. We don't know. The hard thing is, she was at a club in Texas, and there's a good chance on a weekend night that there's going to be a lot of people, men, with cowboy hats, white cowboy hats. But the clubs scan your ID. So there's a theory that the club would have scanned everybody's ID who had gone in. So the man who is seen on the tape walking out with her, if he had used his real ID, then it would have narrowed down to at least who the suspects could be. Even if there was 20 people in there with white cowboy hats, you at least have now 20 people to go talk to, but nobody knows if they did. Brandi's mom thinks that she didn't leave the parking lot alone, that man had to have been whoever it was that is responsible for Brandi being missing. The next day, her car was found on the side of the road and on Interstate 20 near Farm to Market Road between Longville and Kilgore, Texas. But it would be days before the police would link that car to Brandi. A gas can that didn't belong to Brandi was found in the trunk, and inside her car were all of her belongings, along with her ex-boyfriend's cell phone. The one thing missing was her own cell phone. So is it possible that the conversation that you can see the man having with Brandi, what did he say? Hey, take me to the gas station, and I don't know what. I have a gas can in the back of my car. Let me put it in yours. If he was taking her to the gas station and was afraid that she would run out of gas, maybe he would take his own gas can that had gas just in case. We're going to stop right here for a minute. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. 91% of the people who view my channel, 91% of y'all who view my channel are not subscribed. Please do so. It takes a minute and it's really great for my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please comment below. All of those things help my channel to grow and be seen. Then, on Brandi's phone, 1 week after she disappeared, all of a sudden there's a flurry of phone calls, one right after the other. And they all last 2 or 3 minutes, no longer. Police were able to find and question 3 men who were in possession of Brandi's phone. Reports say that one of those men failed a polygraph test, but all 3 men were released. The driver's side seat had also been adjusted for someone taller than Brandi. But with the car having been there for so long, they don't know if that's a connection or not. Could have been somebody came along for whatever reason, got in the car and adjusted the seat. They don't know because it took so long to connect this car to Brandi, which is something I also don't understand. If they were giving her license plate, and don't they run license plates of cars that have been sitting on the road for 4 or 5 days? I would think so. After months of trying to find Brandi, the trail went cold. Over the years, new information would come in. Most notably, somebody said that Brandi was alive and well in Kansas City, but it turned out to be a false lead. Brandi's mom says that despite this, she's not going to give up on her daughter. She's quoted as saying, "I always hear her in the back of my mind saying, 'Mommy, I'm waiting for you. Come help me, Mommy.'" You hear that all the time. It stays in your heart that she knows she needs your help, and you don't know how to help her or what to do. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing going on. Another fear is that she's laying in someone's field and her bones just scattered everywhere, and she deserved better than that. She deserved a burial. The police are still looking and asking for clues in the case of Brandi Wells. So no matter how small the clue might be, and I always say this, you're at somebody's house, you're whatever, dad, brother, cousin, grandpa, neighbor, you name it, starts saying something a little off that you feel is a little off, and it might relate to this case, just call the police. It cannot hurt to call the police, and oftentimes cases are solved on the smallest bit of evidence connecting larger bits of evidence. The Texas Department of Public Safety and Missing Persons Clearinghouse is at 512-424-4074 or 1-800-346-3243. Thank you for coming to my channel. I'll put a link below to my store for my art. And good night.